Libya is not the only issue in Washington right now, even though everyone seems to be focused on it. But the budget, we're facing yet another possible government shutdown. What is going on between the White House and Republicans on the budget?
Not much. They're at basically a stalemate right now. Both the House and the Senate were on recess last week, so there certainly weren't any face-to-face meetings. From what we can gather, there wasn't a lot of telephone communication going on as well between both sides. You have this stalemate because you have Republicans who say Democrats aren't doing anything. The Democrats aren't willing to meet them in the middle. They're not even willing to get off of their original position, which is cuts that weren't very deep. Then you've got Democrats saying, well, the Republicans are being held hostage by the Tea Party. Republican leaders can't negotiate in good faith with us because no matter what they do, the Tea Party's saying, holding their feet to the fire, saying, no, you need to cut more, you need to cut more. And so that's why you have these negotiations dragging on and on and on. You're right, the deadline is looming. It's next Friday, I believe. And if they don't make that deadline, which it doesn't appear that they will, then they'll have to do another short-term budget for a few weeks. And, this has really got agencies, even the Pentagon, hamstrung. They can't make any long-term plans. It messes up their hiring. It messes up their procurement because they don't know if they're going to have the funding they need from month to month.
It's interesting. This is in light of the military conflict. People are already talking about how much those cruise missiles cost, which is usually the budget of those kind of things don't come up too quickly. Chip, what is the White House saying with this budget? Are they looking? Do they think a shutdown is possible again?
I think everybody thinks a shutdown is possible. I think most people would be very surprised if there were a long shutdown because of past experience. But there's no guarantee. There's certainly no guarantee that there's not going to be a shutdown here. And today, I'm sure you saw Harry Reid issuing a statement, basically saying it's the fault of the Republican Party because you got their leaders here and the Tea Party way over there, and it's all their fault. And both sides are just preparing their arguments for blaming the other side if it happens.
And Nancy, finally, you see Harry Reid is holding a big rally today saying don't cut Social Security. Later this week, the Tea Party is having a rally protesting the House Republicans for not cutting enough. I mean, talk about a political minefield, right?
That's right. It's a political minefield for everyone. I mean, for Republican leaders, it's good and bad because in one sense, there's a high likelihood that in the end, they end up getting what they want because they originally put this $30 billion in cuts on the table. Then the Tea Party made them go to $60 billion. Now Democrats know that they have to move in the Republicans' direction or nothing is going to happen. So, hey, if the cuts end up being at about $30 billion, guess what? That's what Republicans wanted all along. So, in a way, it's challenging and frustrating for someone like Speaker Boehner to have the Tea Party putting out press releases slamming him. On the other hand, it gives him a good alleyway to say, look, my hands are tied. I really can't come off of my position because I've got the Tea Party. What am I going to do about those guys? I can't change their minds. So, it's a push and a pull for him.
But it's safe to say no one really wants a shutdown at this point. Some of the Tea Party people are maybe saying that, but the leadership doesn't want it, right?
No, nobody wants it. It just makes Congress look more inept than it already is. And, it doesn't look good for either side. And both sides know that, it won't make either side look good, and you really can't tell in advance who's going to look worse. I mean, conventional wisdom is that Republicans would look worse since they control the House, but you just never know. So it's in no one's interest to let this fall by the wayside.